There's a reason you keep ending up in the same place, and it's not what you think. It's not your job. It's not your income. It's not even your opportunities. It's your training. You were trained to stay where you are. Not consciously, not intentionally, but consistently. Through what you saw, through what you heard, through what you experienced, over and over again. And your brain did what it always does. It adapted. It built a system designed to keep you within a certain range. A range where things feel familiar, predictable, safe. And anything outside that range feels wrong, even if it's better. That's the part people don't understand. You don't reject failure, you reject unfamiliar success, because success at a higher level feels like a different life, a different identity, a different version of you, and your brain sees that as a threat, not because it's bad, but because it's unknown. So what happens? You start moving forward, you try something new, you get momentum, things begin to shift, and then you slow down. Not all at once, just enough. You hesitate a little more, you think a little longer, you delay just enough to lose the momentum. And you don't notice it, because it feels like you. It feels like, I'm being careful, I'm thinking it through, I'm waiting for the right moment. But you're not. You're regulating, bringing yourself back to what your system can handle, because growth creates pressure. More money equals more decisions. More decisions equals more responsibility. More responsibility equals more exposure. And your brain asks one question: can we handle this? If the answer is no, it slows everything down until things feel normal again. And normal is where you've always been. That's why people stay stuck. Not because they don't want more, but because their system is not built to hold more. You can earn more. You can learn more. But if you can't hold it, you won't keep it. That's the rule, and nobody talks about it because it's uncomfortable. It means the problem is not outside. It's inside, in how you respond, how you react, how you interpret reality, because money doesn't just test your strategy, it tests your identity, who you are under pressure, who you are when things expand, who you are when you have more to lose. And if your identity is not stable, you will choose safety every time, even if that safety looks like limitation, even if it looks like staying broke, because to your brain, familiar limitation is safer than unfamiliar growth. Let that sink in. You are not just chasing money, you are fighting your own conditioning, and conditioning is powerful. It doesn't shout, it whispers. Through hesitation, through doubt, through subtle resistance. And if you're not aware of it, you follow it automatically. That's what most people call life, but it's not life, it's autopilot, a loop, running the same patterns over and over again, with different situations, different numbers, different excuses, but the same outcome. And the worst part, it feels normal. So you don't question it, you adapt to it, you build your identity around it, until one day, you believe it's just who you are, but it's not. It's what you learned, and what is learned can be unlearned, but not by force, not by motivation, by awareness, by seeing the pattern in real time, catching yourself in the moment you would normally react, and pausing just long enough to not follow the same path. That pause is where everything changes. Because in that moment, you're no longer automatic, you're conscious, and conscious decisions break unconscious patterns, slowly, not instantly, but consistently. Until something shifts, you don't feel the same pressure, you don't react the same way, you don't collapse under the same triggers. And for the first time, you experience something different, not outside, inside, and that's when your results change. Because your system is no longer trying to bring you back. It's expanding, adapting, accepting a new level as normal. And once that happens, money stops being something you chase and becomes something you can live with, without tension, without fear, without resistance. And that's the difference between people who touch money and people who keep it. One reaches it, the other becomes someone who can hold it. If something in you right now feels slightly uncomfortable, good. That means you're seeing something real. Don't scroll past it. Don't ignore it. That awareness is the beginning, because this is where you stop being controlled by your conditioning and start rewriting it. And here's the part that changes everything. The system you're trying to escape is the same system you keep reinforcing. Every time you avoid discomfort, you strengthen it. Every time you delay, you confirm it. Every time you choose what feels easy over what feels right, you teach your brain, this is who I am. And your brain listens, not to your goals, not to your plans, to your actions. Because actions are proof of what you actually believe. Not what you say, not what you wish, what you demonstrate. So if your actions keep bringing you back to the same place, it's not a lack of effort. It's a reinforcement of identity. And identity doesn't change through intention, it changes through evidence, through showing your brain a different pattern, again and again and again, until it starts to believe, this is me now. That's how transformation actually happens, not through motivation, through repetition, through consistency. In moments where you would normally break, because those moments are the real test, not when things are easy, when they're not. When your instinct says, go back, and you don't. When your mind says, wait, and you move anyway. When your body feels resistance, and you stay present. That's where identity shifts, not in comfort, in friction. And most people avoid friction. They build a life around avoiding it. Comfortable routines, predictable outcomes, low-risk decisions, and they call it stability. But it's not stability, it's limitation, disguised as safety. Because real stability comes from capacity, the ability to handle more, to stay grounded under pressure, to move forward without collapsing. And capacity is built through exposure, through staying in situations that stretch you, not break you, but stretch you, just enough to expand your limits. And every time you do that, your system adjusts. It recalibrates. It raises the level of what feels normal. And that's when something powerful happens. You stop reacting the same way. The same trigger appears, but it doesn't control you anymore. The same pressure shows up, but it doesn't overwhelm you because you've changed, not on the surface, at the core. And once that happens, money changes too, because money follows identity, not effort, not knowledge. Identity, who you are when no one is watching. Who you are when things get uncomfortable. Who you are when you have a choice to go back or to grow. And if you keep choosing growth, even when it feels unfamiliar, even when it feels uncomfortable, eventually that becomes your default, your new baseline, your new normal. And once something becomes normal, you don't have to fight for it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You live it. That's the shift, the real one. Not temporary, not fragile, stable, because it's built on who you are, not what you do. And most people never reach this point. Not because they can't, but because they never stay long enough in the discomfort. They leave too early, they go back too fast, they choose familiarity over transformation, and that choice costs them years, sometimes a lifetime. So if you're still here, if you've stayed through this, if something in you feels different right now, don't ignore that. That's not motivation, that's awareness. And awareness is the first real step out of the loop. Not a temporary escape, a real exit. And from that point on, everything you do starts to come from a different place. Not fear, not pressure, not habit, but choice. And once you're operating from choice, you're no longer controlled. You're creating, and that changes everything.